Science have discovered a very dangerous fungus that causes people to break out fungal-like structures, word redundancy, and their behavior to be wild and dangerous. The virus has begun to mutate humanly until they become something similar to zombies. The history begins 20 long years after the outbreak of the virus. Most mutant humanity has disappeared, and there are very few people left who have survived the virus. This has forced the creation of quiet and sound under martial law governed by the military. The military does everything possible to keep human race alive, so there are strict security standards and minimal infraction can carry the death penalty, and human beings detected with the virus will be sacrificed immediately. Why out? But of course, there is no exception. The story revolves around Joel receives a commission from a friend, a mission the code calls him as Freedom, alive to transport a orphan girl named Ellie, else and safe outside the quarantine, some to her friend and our boss, Ellie. Being under 20, those not know what the world was like before the outbreak of the virus, so she has been forced to mature radically. His parents were probably sacrificed. During the first year of the outbreak, two events caused both to be expelled from the quarantine zone. Ellie generated serious problems with her classmates, and Joel failed in the first part of the mission. To take her out weight and Joel noticing, but are persecuted by the military in are forced to take a dangerous and different route from the established one, which was to arrive safely at their destination. Together they will have to make their way through the abandoned and snow dramatic allegiance street and USA.
The Last of Us Part 2 is a Naughty Dog game released in June 2020. This is the sequel to the previously mentioned The Last of Us, where humans try to survive in a post-apocalyptic world. The Last of Us Part 2 follows two different but at the same time similar characters as they go through each of their journey. Let's start with Ellie, who is our main character in the story. She's all grown up now, but her relationship with Joel didn't go so well as she found out that Joel had lied to her, and throughout the game you get little bits of their relationship not being so well. All of this leads to a traumatic experience that Ellie suffered. She then decides to go and look for revenge against people that did something to her. Looking to bring her peace, she goes through hundreds of enemies looking revenge against one character. This is where Abby comes in. You can see her as a villain, but once you start to see her story and experience what she went through, you'll realize that she's not a villain, but a character who's trying to do the same thing Ellie is trying to do, find revenge. Both Ellie and Abby think that revenge is the way they will find peace. Abby thinks her revenge against Ellie and Joel, she will be able to sleep well again and stop having these nightmares, and Ellie believes that by getting her revenge, she will be at peace with this person she's avenging. Like I said, but different, similar characters. The Last of Us Part 2 is a great story that keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's intense, sad, and emotional, and one game that everyone needs to experience.